Good morning, everybody. It's King Ray Vet, and it's been a minute since I made a video on Substack. Well, a video anywhere. Um, it's a couple days after the Easter holiday. I guess you can say I don't celebrate Easter, but given what our asshat in chief did on Easter, I just had to pay attention. Anyway, I'm testing out a new mic, one that I don't have to stick in my shirt, I don't have to stick in my ears, I don't have to deal with any of that crap. And this will be the first time I'm testing it out. But I wanted to get on here to tell everybody, I had an epiphany last night. Could have been early this morning, I don't recall. But as I've been watching all of this stuff going on in the foreground, in the background of the United States of America, something occurred to me. I don't know if anybody has seen the last Titanic movie. Was it the last one? Anyway, the one that was made about 10 years ago or a little more with DiCaprio in it. But listen, this country is all in that ship, in the Titanic, and the captain of the ship has gone loco. And you guys know who I'm talking about. The one that I can't stand to see his face. I definitely can't stand his voice. Anytime I see him coming, mute. I've got a little, my whole system set up here is very sophisticated, but I've got my speakers just a little touch button mutes it. And anytime I see him coming, and I don't care what person puts him on whose video, the minute I see him get ready to open his mouth, mute. And then when he's done talking or whatever, and whoever else put that thing on comes back, I unmute it as soon as I hear them start talking. And I don't care which podcaster is putting his videos, his speeches, or whatever the hell you want to call it, his rambling on air. Because if you ask me, I think the people doing that know that it's going to get a reaction. Yeah. They know we're sick and tired of this guy. Um, or maybe they don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? You think they know that seeing him and hearing him gives people a visceral reaction? Literally, my body goes through some changes whenever I see it coming. And yeah, if there's anybody that could be called an it in this world, it would be him. Because he, that guy, he's not human. He has no humanity about him, put it that way. None whatsoever. And so I feel quite comfortable calling that one an it because it also comprises the entire regime, including the GOP, the Republicans is how some people spell it, and the oligarchs, the tech bros, all of the people involved, the Heritage Foundation employees, all of them comprise the it system that is destroying this country from the inside. But let me get back to this epiphany. So the epiphany was that we're all on this ship. And at a certain point in that movie, in case you've not seen it, this is going to be a spoiler alert. In case you have not seen that movie. Um, at one point, one of the main characters in the movie tries to pay for a seat on one of the lifeboats. And he's running around. He's trying to keep tracks of his fiance, who is splitting ways with him. after she met DiCaprio at some point. But he tries to pay for a seat on the boat. And at first, the guy that took the money just looked at him like, okay. Then, after he runs around the ship a little more, he runs back and says, "What about my seat?" Now, this is most of the boats were gone, and they were taking women and children first. By the time they got around to the men were kind of freaked out about it and trying to secure their places on any boat they can find. And the guy he gave the money to took the money back out of his coat and threw it at him and said, your money's no good. Now, I say all that to say we're all on the same ship. I don't know what these oligarchs are thinking, but we're all on the same ship. And this ship is going down. Now, I'm not a political commentator. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a famous personality around here, but I know enough after watching all this bullshit for a year and a half now that this ship is going down. There's just no way we can keep up with everything that's going on because, there's stuff going on in the foreground, but there's a whole lot going on in the background. I mean, a whole lot. And I don't want to rattle off all of the podcasters around here, the professionals around here that are pointing out in plain English what is going on in the background. But this ship is going down. The weight of everything that's happening is not only driving everybody crazy, but at least the people that are watching the ship go down, it's driving us mad. And, like really insane. Like, how in the fuck could this happen here like this? Well, to answer that question, though, you would have had to have been paying attention most of your life to how this country operates. You got all these people running around talking about this is not America. That's not this country. We're better than this. We're this. No, we're not. It depends on the vantage point that you've been watching this country. Black people know because we've been living under authoritarian rule since we got here. Okay? This isn't new to us. We've been trying to tell y'all that half of the population in the United States is been white supremacists the entire time, and they've been raining hell on us the entire time we've been here. And we've still managed to thrive. We've still managed to survive. We've still managed to work through our struggles because we're resilient like that. But they haven't been listening to us. People have not been listening to us. I don't know if they're taught that in school or exactly what's going on there that would make the majority of people in the United States just tune us out. Like we're not saying anything significant when we are. But like I said, we've been living under this crap the entire time, and we've been fighting those white supremacists the entire time we've been here, from the time we're born until the time we die. Okay? It's just been this year that people finally are starting to go, oh shit, wait a minute. Ooh, they're not gonna, all the they're coming after us too. And so all of the Trumpers, I'll say, cold bullshit racists that are having second thoughts about voting for him. Well, fuck y'all. You knew who he was. You just didn't think he was going to come after you guys. You thought somehow you were going to be plucked out of the system called the United States and be spared. I don't know what made y'all think that. Well, maybe you're just short-sighted and you just didn't see far enough ahead to see that there's no way he could parse out your particular brand of people out of all the experiences that we have in the United States. What made you think you were going to be spared? He lied to all of y'all. And he's been lying since he got in the office the first time. And he's been lying the second time. And he's just been full of shit. So I have absolutely no feelings for people who have come to their senses recently after voting for it. You knew what you were voting for. So don't even try it with me. I'll never forgive you for being racist and sexist and not voting in a woman that was way more qualified than this piece of shit that's destroying this country from the inside. Putin's bitch. That's what I call him anyway, because I think that guy is covert gay. And look, I don't got nothing. I'm part of the LGBTQ. I have nothing against gay men. What I have something against is these closet cases that hate themselves so much for who they're really attracted to that they have to spit on people who are comfortable in their skin. And I mean spit on them, and not in a way that's cute. Well, spitting is never cute, but they're trying to destroy uh, any kind of marginalized group in the United States. Any kind, every kind. And the cult. And anybody who is not rich. And I don't know what makes the cult people pretend they're rich enough to run with the big dogs like them. They're not part of that club. None of us are part of that club. That's why we're all in the same boat. Anyway, I just veered away from what I was talking about. Your money's not going to be any good on a sinking ship. Your money's not going to be any good because if the country's broke, in which, look, this guy, this entire regime, including all the Republicans, including the oligarchs and the tech bros and all of them, they're hoarding, they're stealing, they've got their hands in our pockets. And they're stealing left and right faster than anybody can even blink. They are stealing not thousands, not millions, billions and trillions of dollars from the American people. And here's the kicker. This is why the boat's sinking. Nobody's doing anything to stop them. They're all looking at somebody else, thinking that they're going to fix this. Trying to browbeat the politicians into fixing this and doing their jobs. Haven't they proven a year ago that they weren't going to do that? What part of they weren't going to do that didn't y'all understand? They're not going to do anything. They're going to do what they've been doing, which is shake a finger at them, and that's about it. And then the rest of the Americans, the rest of us are just sitting here going, oh shit. Well, let's either pretend this isn't happening or get really mad and just keep screaming on the internet, or pretend it's not happening. I think we vacillate back and forth between being shocked and still doing nothing about it. And listen, everything that I say about this, I'm saying from the standpoint of being an almost 69-year-old man, black man in America. I realize I'm feeling a lot less hopeful than maybe younger people are that's got another 50 years to live in this place. And maybe some of them have absolved themselves to, oh well, this is the way it's going to be. And we best prepare to fight. I'm not in a position to fight physically. Because I'm telling you, if I was, I'd be doing some different things right now to try to rally some troops together to take them out. But I don't have the energy to do that, knowing full well that I have to sit back and watch whatever other people try to implement. And look, the civil rights movement, let's go to that, because since white people are trying to choose that method to fight this, they were 20 something year olds, not 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year olds. All the kids, all the people that were fighting during who did what they did during the civil rights movement were 20 something year olds. They got motivated, they got organized, and they went for it with very little power, no weapons, and no privilege. There were white people in the crowd, but they kind of all came from the Vietnam War effort, Vietnam War craziness, and the um, the hippies, okay, who were doing their own thing too during that time. So, so this isn't the '60s anymore. Newsflash: all y'all thinking that peace, love, and dope is going to take out this regime? Think again. They're not leaving peacefully. Tonight is the litmus test of all the bullshit that went on over the weekend with Mr. Blustering, babbling baboon in Washington saying what he's going to do if Iran doesn't open the straits. If he does nothing, he's just being taco again and threatening, being full of threats, and just the guy is off his rocker, okay? He's mentally ill. He's suffering from dementia and a whole bunch of other things. Malignant narcissism, all of that stuff. But the people around him are benefiting from it. They're getting rich off it as fast as they can. As fast as they can. Because they know it's going to end. So they're doing their version of panic, which is to hurry up and amass as much wealth as they can before the axe falls. Sorry, that's what our politicians are doing. Most of them. And there's not enough of them who aren't doing that to be able to do something about this regime. There's not enough. There's not enough time. There's not enough people. There's not enough fighters. And the American people are numb and too comfortable and afraid to do something serious about this. Protests every 3 months, not going to cut it. Protests that are resembling festivals are not going to stop these people. They are evil to the bone. And you don't fight evil with that. Not evil. You don't fight evil with a festival. That's like going to a gunfight with a slingshot. Basically, that's what these protests have been doing, is taking a slingshot to a gunfight and then wondering why nothing's happening. So the epiphany I had was, okay, the ship's going down. There's too many things going on. There's too much stuff happening in the background, let alone the foreground. How do we want to spend the rest of our time watching democracy go right down the toilet? Because make no mistake, it's going. You can be in denial if you want to. I choose not to be in denial, but I can't continue watching it go down too. I noticed something happened with one of the podcasters I watch, which was to say, don't look away. Don't look away. In other words, stay engaged with this shit until it drives you up the wall, until it drives you crazy, basically. Um, stay engaged. Stay watching us. Stay paying us. The grifters are running all over Substack too. Um, to me, the ones who are serious, that are seriously trying to reach people, or they're not charging to reach them. But again, people are, the word is not anesthetized, but just something like that. Just totally frozen in place, watching all this happen, watching this ship go down. Some people are headed towards the exits, headed towards lifeboats that don't really fucking exist. The only lifeboat that I can see that exists at this time, anyway, is to leave the country. And I know I have friends or acquaintances, I should say, who have left the country because they saw what was happening. They saw what was coming. I was almost one of them and decided at the last minute, I mean, the last minute of making plans to go up to Canada and scope things out and find a place to live and see what the whole situation was in the city I was choosing. I was 1 minute from making those plans. I had I was dealing with a veterans type of travel arrangements, and the website kept fucking up and kept destroying my reservations. And I kept having to make them over and over and over and over again just to edit any part of the plans. And it screwed up so much that I got a little paranoid and I thought it was an omen, and I decided not to do it. That I'll stay and fight. Listen, the 20-year-old in me wanted to stay and fight. The 20 something, the 30 something year old in me wanted to stay and fight. Now I realize that I should have left. I should have taken my chances and continued to finalize those travel arrangements, however goofy they would have been, and then try to deal with the editing of stuff after the fact. They wanted me to put my money up front before we could sort out any of that stuff, and I didn't trust them because their customer service, we know how that's working these days in the United States, was blowing sunshine up my ass and didn't know what they were doing. And I saw that shit and went, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Anyway, I was going to leave because another part of me realized I'm too fucking old to fight the way that we're going to need to. Because look, the way that things are going, if we had gotten together and figured out a way to get rid of this regime before the elections this year, we might have been able to do it in a way that wasn't going to be pure pandemonium, a civil war, or a revolution. We waited too late. People waited too late. White people, I'm talking to y'all too, because we've been doing our own thing, seeing how incompetent you folks are and how just I don't want to talk too much shit about you because again, we're all in the same ship right now. But I didn't know what you was doing, and you wouldn't listen to us. So you're doing a the Three Stooges bumping into each other right now, and there's not enough time left, and the ship is on its way down. So, in lieu of that, I started watching a bunch of funny. I started watching funny videos, memes, jokes, um, videos and stuff on the internet, and just decided to lighten the fuck up. Because there's nothing I can do about this ship going down the way that it is, and how quickly they've amassed this. Now it is, yeah, over a year, they have managed to kick the ladder out from under the United States people, and I don't see any lifeboats. Do you? How long have I been talking? Okay. And so, how do we choose to spend our time while we're watching the ship go down? And, I wish I had written down all the myriad of things that I watch, uh, indicating of all of the things that are really going on in the United States and the level of grifting that's going on by the regime, the oligarchs, and the tech bros. Pure thievery that's been legalized by them. They're stealing everything. They're shutting down everything that's important to the United States in order to pocket it or do whatever they want with it, but they're certainly not doing it for the American people, for the average Joe. You know, I don't know how happy they're going to be by themselves in this country because, is that sustainable? Are they going to be able to support each other and still have a country worth living in? I don't know. I don't know, but they're slowly trying to kill everybody that they don't desire in the United States, one way or the other. It's a real slow roll into dictatorship, into authoritarian rule. The fact that people are going to get so freaked out and angry is what's going to lead to another civil war here because everybody waited too late. And half of the country is still not paying attention to any of this that's going on. Half of the country has been going on and on and on like nothing's happening here because they're like, oh, politics. Ooh. They want to act like if they pretend it's not there, it's not there. Oh, yes, it is there. Our entire country runs on this stuff. And whether you're a participant in the system or not, you're affected by everything political in this country. So I have to think about how I'm going to spend the rest of my days, not really wanting to watch this ship go down, stay plugged in and be freaked out while it goes into the water. Or do I want to party like it's 1999? Or do I want to do a little bit of both? Now, I don't know if I can completely disconnect. I'm going to sure enough try. But I can't sit here watching it day in and day out because that will freak me out and just make me so cynical. I won't even be able to stand myself. Um, I already can't. I've had a sleep deprivation problem since the election. Since the election in 2024. I, at my age, I've got insomnia really bad and I stay awake way too many hours and then just crash. Um, like 24 hours or more, I'm awake. And then I just crash. And it's just screwing with everything. It's screwing with my memory. It's screwing, I'm getting headaches. Um, it's just not good for my health to be as plugged in as I was. It's affecting my mental health, in other words. But I'm not alone. It's doing this to everybody. Everywhere I turn, people are talking about having trouble sleeping. They may not have trouble staying awake like I do, but they're waking up out of their sleep and stuff like that. So they're not getting good sleep. And how do you, without completely unplugging, how do you write that shit? How do you write that? Some of us are upside down. We're already in the water watching the ship go down. So I guess over the next week to a couple of weeks, I'm going to be figuring out how I do want to spend the rest of my time um, with the reality. Wake up, wake up. the reality that this ship is going down. How do I want to best spend that time and not just sit here staring at it like people like to watch scary movies? I don't like scary movies. I don't like horror flicks at all. My imagination is too crisp. I, I, I've always been that way. Um, and this is a nightmare. This is a living, waking nightmare. The people who are creating the nightmare don't give one crap what they're creating. Not one. Not one. They think they're going to be like the guy that threw that man the money, and that no matter what, they're going to get a lifeboat off the sinking ship that they sunk. I mean, think about that. Does this make any sense? What they're doing? I made a post the other day that had a fun, another funny a meme that is a revolver with the barrel pointed this way, and that I'm selling to the maggots of the country. First, I said I'm selling them for $75 a pop. And then I said, fuck it. If you're a maggot, you can prove that you're a fascist. I'll give them to you for free and give you some bullets. And you can play Russian roulette with the revolver. uh, People are afraid to like that one because it looks, suspiciously violent. I don't give a fuck anymore, y'all. I don't care what it looks like. I have long passed that point of caring what people think. While being a very caring, being very caring man, I still don't care what they think of me. Unless you're very, very close to me, I don't give a shit. Even if you're one of my subscribers, my followers, whatever you're doing, I know that I'm of sound mind and body. I know that I'm not foolish. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not a malignant narcissist. I don't have dementia. I know that I speak truth to power. Sorry, my nose is itching. What does that mean? Nose is itching. Does that mean somebody's talking about you? After this one, yeah, people are going to be talking about me. Okay, I'm looking at the time. Um, so what I pose to you, I will end with this because I don't feel like going through all of the, like a professional journalist would, bit by bit, why this ship is sinking. But I will leave you with this: is how are you going to spend the rest of your time as this ship goes down? Something to think about. Um, I'm tired of pretending it's not going down when it is. Look. Okay, again, unless you've been watching what's going on, you have no idea the magnitude of shit that's happening in this country, all over the place, all at the same time. And they've got thousands, double digit thousands of people working on this, making sure it happens just this way. The Heritage Foundation has thousands and thousands, double digit thousands of people working on Project 2025, which is their blueprint, their game plan for fucking up this country. And they're reckless, they're incompetent. Most of them are fucking insane too. You know, the loony bin has got control of the country. And I didn't think about these cartoons. It's like, this is the craziest thing. So, how are you going to spend the rest of your time? Because we're going to lose the country entirely. It's just a matter of time. Nobody is stopping them. There is no one person out there right now who is able to stop them, who wants to stop them. And everybody's hoping somebody else does it. That's why it's not going to happen. Um, Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And I've given y'all something different to think about this time. King Ray Vet is out.